Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. I have your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQTurns20. So let's get started. First one today comes from our buddy, It's the Costanza. Would CM Punk making an appearance at the All In show break the internet and potentially cause insane website traffic to wrestling news sites such as yours? I would hope so. At this point, CM Punk is not All In. He will be part of All In Weekend doing the autograph signing, but beyond that, it's still a big question mark if Punk will actually appear on the All In show. I would like to see him appear on that show because, like you said, it would generate a huge buzz. I'm not sure if Punk would be paid a certain amount of money to be there. I think if Punk does show up, it will be to help his friends and generate some more buzz. They do not need any buzz in terms of selling tickets because All In is in fact sold out. However, if there are more shows to come and this is the beginning of perhaps a new wrestling promotion, Punk being there could definitely generate some buzz and keep the momentum going. It would be a great thing for CM Punk to show up at that event. The fans would be interested, and I would be very happy personally with the website traffic, no doubt about it. But right now, anything can happen. Punk still has his UFC fight, so I'm sure that is what's on his mind right now. That is his priority, is this upcoming UFC fight. The outcome of that could definitely influence his future decisions, but we'll have to see what happens with the upcoming UFC fight. Got this one here from Garrett Mills. Do you think Smackdown will move, and if so, what channel would or should it go to? It does look like Smackdown is going to move away from USA Network if you believe the reports that USA wants to keep Raw and will pay up to 3 times what they are currently paying to keep Raw. However, because of that, they are not going to keep Smackdown. It will be very interesting to see if Smackdown ends up on another network. The whole situation is great for WWE. Not so great for the fans that are disgruntled with the current direction of WWE. This latest news about WWE's television future just means WWE is making more money and they can really do whatever they want. 3-hour Smackdown, if another network wants 3 hours, guess what? Smackdown is going to be a 3-hour show. I'm more concerned about that personally as a viewer. As far as potential networks, there have been several networks rumored, including Fox. Fox has been rumored for a while now to pick up both Raw and SmackDown, and that is still a possibility if Fox could match or surpass the offer that USA Network is making. And then, of course, you have other avenues like Facebook. WWE has been doing Mixed Match Challenge on Facebook Watch and also Amazon. Maybe Netflix could potentially pick up SmackDown. There's a lot of possibilities, and I think that there's no definitive front runner right now. WWE has a lot of options, and WWE is a hot commodity right now. Despite the complaints from fans, the stock is at an all-time level above $50. It's insane. WWE is in the driver's seat right now, and SmackDown could really end up anywhere, and WWE will make a lot of money. Got this one here from Steve Appleby. Hey Aaron, being in America and WWE coming overseas for Raw and SmackDown Live, would you prefer to see the shows live with repeats shown at the usual time for American fans, or are you happy to watch on delay? If preferred delay, do spoilers affect your enjoyment of the shows? Spoilers really don't affect my enjoyment of the shows. In fact, if the show sounds good on paper, reading the spoilers, or on the internet, I shouldn't say on paper because pretty much everyone is reading on the internet these days, especially spoilers when it's airing later in the day. Back in my day, like in 1996, you could get 4 weeks of Raw spoilers sent to you via a dirt sheet. But now, of course, times have changed. But anyways, to answer your question, no, because if I read the spoilers and the show sounds interesting, I actually get more excited to watch. If it sounds like crap, then I become less excited to watch. Yeah, the surprises are nice when watching live television, but let's face it, WWE doesn't exactly give us a lot of surprises on live television these days. As a business person, I actually prefer the spoilers because the website gets more traffic. NoDQ.com gets more hits when there is a taped Raw on Mondays. I miss the taped Smackdowns because NoDQ would get higher traffic on those Tuesdays. Now, there's not as much traffic. That's just my own take on it from a web publisher's perspective. But as a fan, I definitely have no issue with the spoilers. This one comes from Thompson3. Hey Aaron, how many times can Michael Cole and WWE Graves screw up their lines before anything changes? It all comes down to what Vince likes. If Vince likes Michael Cole can make a ton of mistakes and he'll still be there. Michael Cole is a professional though. We all get on his case, but the guy has a tough job. All of them do. To go out there and do commentary for 3 hours and not screw up at all, that's practically impossible. That would require a robot to go out there and make no mistakes. They make mistakes. They're human. It's going to happen. Is Cole the best announcer in WWE? No. Could he be better? Yes. But at the same time, I think he does a good enough job considering the pressure of going out there for 3 hours live every Monday night and having to say what Vince wants as much as possible and satisfy him. But it comes down to Vince. If Vince doesn't like you, then you're in trouble. But if Vince likes you, then you'll be able to make mistakes and Vince will overlook those mistakes. And people like Corey Graves, whatever. I mean, for some of these guys like Corey Graves, he got hurt, so commentary seemed like a natural transition for him, and he's doing well. I don't think he's at Bobby Heenan level. I think people tend to overrate him a little bit, but I think he's good. I do think he's a good color commentator, but I wish he would be more of a heel at times. I feel like with Elias, that is just so weird, Elias, and how the announcers react to Elias. Elias is a heel, but Michael Cole loves him, and Corey Graves, the heel, despises Elias. It's really weird to me. But other than that, I'm fine with the announcers for the most part. Yeah, they could be better. I prefer to, but there have been worse announcers in WWE and wrestling history in general. Got this one here from Michael J. Hey Aaron, what if Backlash was someone's first live event or first pay-per-view and all they remember is fans walking out on the main event? Is that the first impression you'd want to make, and shouldn't WWE be more concerned about that? In another era, absolutely 100%. But going back to earlier, with the stock prices being at an all-time high, WWE set to make a huge amount of money with a Raw and Smackdown renewal, maybe moving Smackdown to a new network, but getting a huge raise from USA Network. It doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't, because WWE is making money in so many different avenues, and television rights are keeping WWE very into the black. It doesn't matter if fans get disgruntled, because WWE is succeeding. They are a very thriving business. That's just the way it is. I really wish I had something more positive to say for fans that are frustrated, but it's looking pretty bleak. If you're somebody who's frustrated with WWE, it's looking pretty bleak right now. There will always be people that watch. There are diehard fans, and there are some casual fans that like WWE. I know some of us out there, myself and some of you watching, some of us feel, how can anybody like these Raw and SmackDown shows compared to the best of WWE over the years? It's definitely not the best if you've watched WWE over the years, but it's also subjective. There's some people that watch and think Roman Reigns is great. There's some people that absolutely love the current WWE product and think the fans that left at Backlash are idiots. There are people out there. Not everybody has the same perspective. Got this one here from Tom. Why won't WWE use women more? There's only 1-2 matches per show. Why not have more matches and utilize the less used like Dana, Lana, Tamina, and so forth and have them wrestle? I know they wrestle dark matches / house shows. You could really say this about half the WWE roster. The problem is that WWE has so many people on the roster right now. A lot of talent are getting lost in the shuffle. Not just women, but men too. A lot of performers in every division. You could say several divisions are suffering right now and people are not being utilized to their fullest potential. There are certainly women in WWE that could be used better, but you could say the same thing for the men, the tag teams, the cruiserweights. There's a lot of people that are being underutilized, and you can really make this argument for people across the board in WWE. Why aren't Breezango being pushed more? Why isn't Mike Kanellis being pushed more? Why isn't Lana being pushed more? You could really say it for a lot of people on the WWE roster. And like I've said before, not everybody can be pushed. Some people are going to be enhancement talent. Some people are going to be headliners. But not everyone can be a headliner. It's just a matter of finding what works best for each character and utilizing that character to the best of their abilities. Got this one here from Aaron Lewis. Hey Aaron, do you think several talents that are not used on the main roster should go back to NXT to try and help reinvigorate interest in them? It would help fill out the NXT roster and would give talents like Ty Dillinger and Mike Bennett something to do. I agree on this, and we've seen a couple of acts appear on NXT live events over the past several days. The Revival have done a few shows. Tyler Breeze, I mentioned Breezango a few minutes ago. Tyler Breeze performed at an NXT live event. I think it would be good to send some of these guys back to NXT if you're doing nothing with them and have them work with some of the rising stars in NXT and maybe just give some of these acts a reboot, like the Revival. Put them back in NXT for a year and let them reestablish themselves and then come back to the main roster and give them a fresh push when they've been away for a while. Because right now, the Revival, they're pretty much dead in the water. And it's not really their fault. Some might argue they don't have enough charisma. They're too old school. But like I said before, you got to utilize the talents to the best of their ability. The Revival, they are throwbacks to 80s style tag team wrestling, like the Brainbusters. And I feel like they can be utilized well in WWE. It's just finding the right spot for them. And also momentum and timing also play roles in the development of these talents. Got this one here from Kyle Allen. Which low to mid-card WWE performer, male or female, could leave for a few years and return as a headliner? So this question could be referring to NXT, but also could be referring to the Indies and New Japan. We've seen guys do it before. Guys like Luke Gallows leave WWE, work in Japan for a while, come back. Tensai did it. His comeback didn't really work out too well, but we have seen guys leave and come back. Cody Rhodes might be back in WWE someday, depending on what he wants to do with All In, if he wants to make a promotion out of it, keep doing the shows. There's a lot of question marks about that. But yeah, I could see some guys, if NXT isn't an option, some might see it as a demotion and mentally Some people might not like that idea of going back to NXT, but I sense some would. Sasha Banks even mentioned something on Twitter about being interested in going to do an NXT live event. But for some people, Drew McIntyre is a perfect example. Left WWE, worked on improving his skills as a wrestler, in-ring skills, promos, overall presence. There are guys that could potentially benefit from going back to the indies for a while, and sometimes timing is everything. AJ Styles came to WWE at the right time. If he came in 2001 or 2002, it might have been a similar situation to what we see now with some of the talents, where AJ would have gotten lost in the shuffle. He would have been lower card. He would have been struggling to make a name for himself in WWE, and it would have hurt his career perhaps. But he chose to stay on the indies for a while and build up his character, develop his promos, and do all that stuff. He came into WWE at the right time. So for some of these guys, it just might not be the right time. And yeah, maybe it is best to part ways with WWE for a while and see what they can do with their characters and their persona in other avenues, in other leagues, promotions, whatever you want to call it. Got this one here from Mr. Yuck. Is Triple H just a guy to put over stars now? How many Authority-esque matches does he have left? I think you could potentially do something with Triple H winning a match or going over somebody if the circumstances are right. It just depends on the storyline. I don't think Triple H should be doing much these days. I think he's best off being in this transitional role and doing the business side of WWE behind the scenes. But yeah, I feel every now and then he can come back. He might have a few more Authority type matches, but one of these days I think it would be cool to mix it up, make Triple H a babyface for whatever program he's doing, and maybe have Triple H go over one match. Maybe he could lose the second match, maybe do a series. I would like to see Triple H in a babyface role, at least. He could still lose and put over somebody, but at least not do the Authority angle, which, yeah, I think has really been done to death at this point. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Money in the Bank. If you're attending the show, head over to NoDQ.com/Chicago and join us for our pre-Money in the Bank meetup. And on that note, I will see you guys next time.